We are Counterculture Inc. How's everybody doing tonight? Wild, huh? Wild.
Hilarious. Go grab one. Everything. All right. So yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, are we?
The origins of Everything's Harder in a Gas Mask was, it was like, well, you know more than anybody, being military and a firefighter. Yeah, you could be doing drills that are hard to do and that suck, but everything you do is harder when somebody goes, now do it in a gas mask.
Yeah.
And it's like, everything's fucking harder in a gas mask. So then I was like, well, that's a joke. Like, if you were having sex, everything's harder in a gas mask.
Okay, yeah.
And then I was like, put the American Psycho image with the gas mask on. And then, you know, it's a fucking, I was like, this is a dumbass shirt. And, well, I'm not wearing it. No, but everybody was like, every conference I go to, like, oh, give me that shirt.
Yeah, it's funny. But it speaks to everything that y'all do with Antihero. That's what I think it's hilarious. It's very different. It's not this, we're these proper people, we're these respectful members of society. Yeah. Like you said, it's everybody knows.
Refractive Wolf Apparel is not, you have to pick and choose when you wear a shirt. Like my wife was telling me, like, babe, can you just make like general, like patriotic shirts? Because I have to, like, literally when I go pick up our kids from school, I can't wear half the shirts because they say fuck on them or like have like a naked woman on it or something. Actually, there's nothing with naked women on it, but like they all say like, well, again,
they're just angsty. They're just a little, you know,
like edgy.
Yeah, edgy.
Yeah, it's like grunt style, but for not pussies.
Yeah, like if there was a first responder store that was like a hot topic of what we do, it would be that.
Yes.
What would you call that?
Alternative. It's an alternative to fucking like alt. Grunt style patriot gear.
Just
like all the same
ALT
shit.
Dot alt. We need to trademark that. That's a good idea
for another business.
Yeah. Oh god, I don't need any more. I don't need any more. Like, but what do you identify as?
He.
That's your.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. What do you identify as?
I don't know. I'm that grumpy old man that doesn't want him in his fucking emails. I shouldn't have to put the fucking part out of my email.
Did they make you?
No, but they do have people that I work with that put like he, she, her. And like, I don't know. My dad works for the government, and he's like, during the Biden administration, like, you were getting all these emails from young people that were putting their pronouns in the fucking email.
It's gay.
It's like, God, that's so fucking
That's
annoying.
gay.
And it's all like,
your name's Steve. I know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, and if you send me an email that says Reagan, you know, what's your last name?
Rice.
I knew that.
Reagan Rice.
Because it's Reagan Rice on your Instagram. Yeah.
It's a solid name.
It sounds like a football player. You sound black.
Dude, well, I didn't get all the benefits, I'll tell you that. But my son, so I wanted to name him Bo originally. I wanted to be Bo Rice. I'm like, that name, you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
You're a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys or whoever. Like Bo Rice.
With that name,
yeah.
Bo Rice.
Bo Rice. Like, solid
Number
name.
5,
yeah,
Bo Rice.
Bo Rice. But yeah, so.
Is Bo short for anything?
But what do you mean?
B-O?
Just B-O. Well, you could, it depends on how you want to spell it, because you could spell it like how the LSU Tigers do it. So you could, what is that? B-E-A-U-X. But
Bo,
you know how they
French.
do go?
French.
Is that what it is? French?
Yeah.
Because they spell go Tigers like that. So you could do it that way.
My buddy from the police academy, his name was Bo, and
he do it that way.
B-E-A-U, B-E-A-U, Bo.
B-E-A-U. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you could, or I've always thought Bear was a cool name for a guy or a girl.
Oh, that is a girl named Bear.
Yeah. Well, a buddy, they thought they were gonna have a son. They're like, I know it's gonna be a son, or maybe it's just wishful thinking, but he was like, either way, it's Bear. And so it was a girl. I'm like, that's a badass name. So her name is Bear. His son's name's Bo. I'm like, that's freaking cool. Bo and Bear. Like
he named his daughter Bear.
Bear, yeah. You don't like that? I think that's badass.
Well, yeah, cool. But then she's got to be 14 in high school going, my name's Bear. Badass for your dad. Like, yeah.
This is Bear.
You hope she's cool. A tomboy.
Yeah. Well, no, I always thought that was a badass name, but yeah. So
Bo. Oh man.
What could we talk about that would get us canceled?
I wanted to tell you about Bo, but I don't want to put his business out there. I haven't talked to him in years. Who the fuck? I guarantee you it's spam.
It always
is.
My
wife.
It is spam.
Hey, babe.
I'm getting really stressed out
Why?
with this money thing. How is Bradley paying for the bet? Like, I feel like I don't know. Like, I'm like a fucking.
Well, I every time I ask you, what do you want me to send you, you just stare at me blankly.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't write down my itinerary for the day.
Okay, what do you want me to send Bradley? God, shut up. What do you want me to send Bradley?
$60.
Okay, thank you. Bye. That was pointless conversation. Jesus Christ. I'm going to leave all that in. Should I leave that in?
You should. You should.
You're just sitting over there like.
Y'all love each other. You should see them behind. They love each other. All right. They were kissing each other by. They love each other. We were up till. How late were we up till last night? We were up till.
I think 4.
Well, we were up till 4. I think the last I looked at the clock, we were sitting there. It was like 4:30. I had the worst headache. And I'm like, this thing won't go away. I'm chugging water, and then I think I finally fall asleep at 6. Your wife wakes up at 6:30. I'm sleeping on the couch, and but I don't think I heard anything. If I did, it didn't bother me. But I haven't gone to bed that late unless I was on shift. I don't remember how long. I don't stay up unless I'm working on something. But it's very rare.
You stay up to edit.
Well, I will, but it's not that fucking late. Like I haven't
stay up that late?
I haven't stayed up that late in a long. Like as far as because then I just get this isn't even good. This isn't good work.
Yeah, that's
and I'll rush it. And
quality.
The latest, like I'll stay up. I consistently I'll stay up to like one or two because we'll be texting sometimes late about whatever. And but that I was like, dude, I haven't been up this late just willingly and forever.
Yeah,
but we woke up at freaking like 9 and
that was awful.
That was not feeling good.
I felt hungover. I had a couple beers. I don't know if it was a lack of sleep or if I was dehydrated already.
How many's a couple? You had a couple blue moons. Those are heavy.
8.
Was it 8?
Yeah, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Well, dude, I told you this last night. If I have
we had the live. That's how I'm counting those beers too.
Oh, I had like 4 or 5 here.
Yeah, you drink a lot of the live.
I chugged like 3 before we started. I was like, how's this gonna go? But it took me. I was showing you here. I was like, it took me 30 minutes to take my shades off to feel comfortable.
Oh, on the live last night?
Yeah, the lives and stuff. That's a different game.
It is.
You know, it's like a different game.
There's no like
can't edit.
I know. Well, yes, I noticed doing anything live. Let's talk about the live in Philly.
Okay.
Anything live, dude. we fucking played the badass intro. We walked up and we sat down, and then and it was like crickets. I was like, "What's up, everybody?" And
I thought
it's just fucking. Woo! And then I was like, "Okay," and then everybody was like, "Oh shit, yeah!" And I was like, "How do you get?" I was like, "Okay, so now that's something that we have to work on. There has to be a crowd hype because they're there to see a podcast. They're not there to see Slayer, right? They're not going to be like, yeah, you know." But they
should be.
And then I watched the Unsubscribed podcast, and they did a tour where they went and physically did locations, and they had a. It's got like it's really successful because it's like a powerhouse. They have like 4 popular people, 4 or 5 that host the podcast. But
I have seen this.
yeah, they're doing a tour right now, and they have angry cops hype up the crowd right before they start, so they get the energy of a concert, but they have a crowd. So we have to find a hype man.
So we have to find someone with that personality.
Dude, shirtless, high-fiving people.
They have to be.
I'm going to steal it from them.
Yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
You know,
because we tried doing it with a comedian, but there's just a gap between the comedian. It's like an opening act. It's not going straight into our live.
Well, we did this badass intro, which was great. You know, and then the music starts, and then let me tell you some jokes.
No. We did no. The jokes were before the intro.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the comedian first.
I blacked out before we started.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I look over about 15 minutes into it. Reagan's gone. He just got up and left. I was like, maybe he had to pee or something. And then all of a sudden,
I did have to pee a lot.
Bo sat down next to us, but at the time, I didn't know it was Bo. It was so chaotic and so crazy.
Because you were locked in.
I never met him before. And he was wearing a hat and flannel. And it was dark. And I had sunglasses on. So I'm like, this random
and I didn't
guy
even tell you.
sat next to me. And,
I didn't even warn you.
No. And I'm like, the fuck? And like, I think
this?
someone told me it was Bo. Or I think you might have texted me like, hey, can you get him talking? And I was like, oh, that's Bo. And then you were just like, I was like, dude, is this guy coming back?
No, so so there was a lot of
What had happened was
I was for one, I was super fucking nervous. I'm like, this whole live shit, all of it's weird. Like the spotlight, and then me sitting in the middle. I'm like, I'm just thinking it from like the firefighter
you want to be sitting on the side where you put in, and like I was like, Reagan, we are the owners of the company, but like, let's be in the middle. And you were like, cool, and I was like, hell yeah.
I said cool, but I'm like, it makes sense, but it's I don't like it.
So
but also in my mind that it makes me uncomfortable. I also know I need to lean into it. Like I gotta get over it. Really is what it. But I'm sitting here super conflicted because I'm like, there's so many firemen that are. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
But there's so many firemen that are.
Maybe we're haunted. I don't know why I'm looking. It's a fucking parking lot. Like who's here?
Some homeless dude. But I'm like, there's so many firemen that are better than me. Like, why am I sitting here, dude? This is weird. This is fucking lunatic.
I got an answer for you.
But that was the whole reason I even started Content Unbecoming. I'm like, the whole reason is when I see guys like Danny Dwyer that have been on with Atlanta like 2 years before retirement.
Yeah,
and,
he needs to have somebody stand for him because he shouldn't be having to do the PR side of what he's doing. He's doing the work.
Yeah.
I'll answer you the best.
Yeah.
Like when I'm done telling you this, you're gonna be like, okay, I feel better. I felt the same way when I started Antihero. I'm a good street cop. I'm a really good street cop in the sense that you can send me to a house that can solve a problem. Nobody really has to go to jail. Everyone's happy. That's the point of a cop. You call the police to come to your house. A good cop is not going to fucking be like, I'm fucking taking everybody to jail. You know, you call them for their problems. You come solve a problem. You problem solve. You make everybody happy and you bounce with no paper, no report. Right? That's a good cop. So I'm good at that. But when it comes to like drugs and all the sexy stuff, I was not good at finding dope. I could find dope. I was not good at SWAT. I was not good like in the house. Like I didn't specialize in any of that stuff. There he is. You look like you still haven't slept, Brent.
And today is the day that Brent admits the moon landing was fake. We're going to be talking about that.
Small-minded people.
I was never, and I was like, dude, how am I going to be like the voice for all these SWAT dudes? And like, I was on the team, but I was nothing special.
Yeah.
Then I started watching the Pat McAfee show, and he's a fucking icon in sports, especially football. He will be the first one to tell you, like, I was no one fucking special.
Yeah.
I was just in. And he tells the stories of all these people who don't have his gift, which is being Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
His gift and what he's good at. He now tells the stories, and he gives credibility to all these amazing players with no insecurities. He's not like, fuck that dude, I was the best player. You know, you can't get an egotistical quarterback to go on his own show and broadcast and push all these sports players, because he in the back of his mind would be like, I'm the best. Mm-hmm. Like I'm an ego guy. And so, what's up, bud?
What's up, dude?
Take it down.
Do you have blue eyes? But it's funny because you don't even watch sports either. Like I don't watch sports either. Every once in a while, maybe hockey or something, but I don't sit here and like, oh, the game's on. You know, I'd rather be doing something else.
But I found that model, his live, and I was like, we need to model this show. Like this show is something that we need to like take from, not necessarily the content they talk about, but like this.
I'm waiting for you to make me feel better. And
that's what I'm saying. Like your gift for the fire service is what you do. You've found something you're good at. It's been very successful. Now this is the role you play in that industry. You're not the what's his name? The guy you just brought up before this?
Danny Dwyer.
You're not the Danny Dwyer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not like some of the legends I work with. I could never be, because it's not my skill set. It really isn't my fucking passion to be the best cop in the world, the best SWAT guy. My passion is all this. So now I take this and I put it towards the industry, and this is my way to contribute.
And try to build them up.
Yeah, build them up. Like I have no ego. Like I'll sit there and have the most badass fucking military SWAT dude on my show, and I love it. And because it's just that's what my job is to tell their story, give them the props that they deserve, because they don't have, and maybe they're solid dudes and they don't want to go tell everybody their story. So it's up to me to tell their story for them.
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna
make
lie,
them
that I'm not gonna lie, that didn't help at all. But that was good. That was great. That was good though. I appreciate it. But no, that you put that good, because I don't watch sports either, but I see a lot of clips from Pat McAfee, and he's standing up, and you see his passion for it, and like you said, he's not the best player, but he's speaking for these guys that are. So that in that sense, that makes sense.
I mean, he was an outcast in his industry too.
Yeah.
He was getting in trouble. He had a big mouth. Like, he was a real dude. Like, he wasn't. You couldn't confine Pat McAfee. Like, he was. He got arrested for drunken and disorderly or something, like swimming in a river while he was playing for the fucking Colts. Like,
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. So, like, it's like he was like, his energy and his path was. Get gay about, like, God put him in the NFL because he had to have the experience. They was like, you need to play in this league, but it's not your end all be all.
Yeah.
And he just, one day he realized, like, I'm retiring. I'm going to go follow my real passion, which is being a sports show. And then that's awesome, is because all the sports shows were like, you will never make it. You're not an anchor, because they were all proudful anchors. Like, I worked in this industry for 15 years, Pat. There's no way. And he just fucking crushed them all in the ratings, and then made sportscasting obsolete.
And he's on ESPN, right? But it's his own show, right? Or didn't he?
He's
he
been
got a
in
big contract.
so many deals and contracts. Like, I think he's might be on Disney Plus now or Hulu. But he was on YouTube. He was on ESPN. Like,
doing well. He's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, when you have people
crazy.
competing for $1 million contracts to have you on their network,
That's freaking cool.
You did it.
Yeah.
But
that comes back to, I don't remember what episode we were talking about it, but you come in that fork in the road. It's like, do you keep listening to everybody and follow the route that the crowd says you should? They say, oh, you need to, like, you can't do it. You're not gonna make it. You don't need to be doing this. This is wrong. This is not what society needs. You're bad for the industry, whatever industry that is.
I'm where you're at.
Yeah.
You're at that fork.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, in the grand scheme of things right now, Conduct, Black Sticker, Unbecoming Podcast, like, all of that is right there. And I've been there, because the first people to turn on you and to vilify you are the people you are in this industry to help. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be like, I know you're mad. I know you're angry. I know this is different. And I know it's toxic. But in 6 months, they will be your biggest support system. Because when I was where you're at right now, I had everybody shitting all over my podcast. This guy's a fucking loser. From other cops. Yeah. From, like, SWAT guys, from everything. Like,
who the fuck are you?
Wearing fucking sunglasses. Who is this guy? And I just kept talking. And I was like, then people started realizing, I'm bringing it. And I was always tell myself, like, I love you, man. Like, I know you're fucking, you just.
Did you really say I love you?
No.
I could not see you say
I would. Okay.
I love you.
I actually did the opposite.
If I did, I would read it in your sarcastic voice. Like,
I would get on in the comments and I would just fucking let people have it. And one of the things that, like, and I would do it from Antihero, which at the time did build the punk brand. Right. Like, this podcast is getting in the comments and calling people gay retards. Like, this podcast is insane.
That's exactly what.
And so when Brent came on,
that's funny.
That was around the time we started treating it more like a business. And and he didn't say anything, but I was like, are you okay with me doing this in the comments? And he was like, I love it, but he's like, it might look bad.
Maybe not every day.
And so that's when I was like, okay, branding. Now, Antihero Podcast has got to be treated as a company, but I can still go in the comments with my apparel line or me and just still do the same thing. Yeah. So that's what I did.
Well, I told you before, that's my favorite thing, is going onto your personal page and talking shit, because people think I'm serious. I'm like, all cops do is oppress us. That lit the boys up, which I was actually kind of proud of the cop community, because I was like, oh, for once y'all are standing up for each other, like, finally,
I'm your martyr.
And so now I go, this is fun. And but the comments on those were like, one of them said, well, just wait until someone breaks into your. It was that one. Yeah, it was that one, which got a ton of views. So what was it like? It was like 1 million or something, more than that.
Couple million, yeah.
And I'm sorry. Couple million. My bad. But one of them was like, wait till someone breaks into your house. I'm like, I'll call the fire department before they call the cops. Like, just,
oh my God. And a lot of the times too, the people that talk like that are not cops. They're like cop wives or cop supporters. Like,
don't mess with a cop or
the blind blue line supporters, like, you know, like, and I love them to death. And I don't want to shit on cop supporters.
Yeah, they're just protecting you.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that, like, you know, like, I like to look at them in the age of like Bush Cheney era. Like, they're voting red no matter what. And even today, you could go like, we know a lot more about the Bush Cheney era now than we did back at the time, and they'll go, well, Bush all the way. You know, it's like, just because you align with something, and there's no way the conservative media or the conservative politicians are going to do wrong. So the blue line supporters cops can do no wrong to them, which you need that because you have the other side of the spectrum where all cops are bastards.
Yeah,
so
you have more of that.
Yeah,
you know, so, and rightfully so, I must say, rightfully so. But that's how, I guess that's how balance is created, right? Like, it's you have both sides, but we need to be able to I want to be able to have these conversations with people that completely disagree with us. Whether I get just my ass kicked on one of these conversations, you know, but it needs to happen to where, like, I even signing people up for counterculture, you know, what we can't even spell right. But counterculture, having someone that has a completely opposite view of us, that is maybe...
You talk about having them on the network?
Like, on the network,
I agree.
Because that is how you have real conversation. You don't have just people agreeing with each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like us.
Well, good morals and ethics, different ideologies.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Like, they can still treat us with respect. They still have good work ethic. Like, they still want to be part of the team, but they have different views on some of the things that we have views on.
Maybe they're even a liberal. You know, maybe they're even a liberal.
Oh, is that why you asked me earlier if, like, could we have a liberal?
Yeah. Because, well, that was what I was going to lean into. Then I forgot because I'm retarded. But that's where I would at least I would look at someone strongly to have them on the network, because then you have that never end, because we're content creators now. And
we are content creators.
We are content. How many times have we said that today?
We haven't said it enough.
Yeah, we haven't.
I'm going to put content creators under our names, but
you should. We're content unbecoming and antihero content creators now. How many times we can piss people off with that? But that'll be just endless content to keep talking about, to go back and forth. We could be talking shit about each other and still be under the same network. You know what I mean? Like Reagan put out this.
That's good.
Reagan put out this whole tranny video talking shit about
tranny video.
Tranny video talking shit.
TRANNY.
Tranny, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, tranny.
Oh yeah, we're going there.
Yeah. So we're going there. I'm like,
I thought maybe you were saying training.
Oh no, I was like, are you about to go woke on me right now? All I said was tranny. I've said tranny probably 100 times since last night. You didn't have an issue. Now that we're on camera, like, I see how you play. Okay,
cancel this man.
Yeah. But even like, they could see me do a video about the whole trans community or whatever, and they could talk shit about it, react to it, then you react back. Like, it just goes back and forth, and they put their point of view in there, and then we put ours, and it just, you add for good dialogue, because like all the stuff going on in LA right now, there's a lot of opinions.
I really don't think you're going to come to any solutions with that. I think you're just going to have good content.
Yeah, well, and we're entertainment.
Yeah, we are entertainment, and like, so having a fucking liberal show that it would stand the test of, like, hey, you know, every other show is going to fucking shit on you, right? Like, and as long as they're like, I'm okay with it. Like,
so
okay.
When we give you, I'll give you a good, what would you call it? Case study on how it did work. So I mentioned to you, I was like, Valuetainment does this pretty well. Valuetainment's very on the conservative side. Yeah. But they have people that have different points of view. They have someone that's more conspiratorial minded, someone more straight minded, someone that's kind of on the fence and can go both ways. And then they have their, like, really smart dude on the end. But they signed on Chris Cuomo for like $8 million. You know who Chris Cuomo is? That CNN dude?
That's the guy that did fake weights.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah,
Joe Rogan's like, this is physically impossible.
Yeah, but it's funny because that dude is super ripped. Like, for his age, he's a strong dude. But yeah, that was fake. But they signed him on for $8 million. They did like a 6-month or a year contract, and everybody lost their minds over. They're like, I cannot believe you're bringing him on. I cannot. That is so wrong. How could you do that? You remember what he did during COVID? I saw that and I said, that's genius. And I'll tell you why. Because now all they have is long form content. Patrick would sit down with these people until they are like
It's
squirmish.
actually boring. It's not boring. They're interviews. They're long form. Long form. You have to mean to sit there and watch.
But they're going to be able to expose everything that he said and make him back up his word on a long form content in a contract.
Yeah, he can't leave.
He can't leave. And that's exactly what they did. They would pull up videos. He's like, I never said that. They'd pull up the videos of him saying the exact words. And then he'd go, then their whole argument on COVID was, well, you had a 50-50 chance of being right. You said it did work or it didn't. That's a 50-50 chance. That's where his argument went after they'd pull up his videos of saying how the anti-vaxxers are the problem and shit like that. And they would have these hours and hours long. And so I said, that's genius, because now they're just going to expose him or make him stand on what he said several years ago. And he even came out on the show and said, yeah, I've been taking ivermectin the whole time. And they're like, you said here ivermectin is a horse dewormer.
But it's
and
a
you
been
said
enough time where no one will care.
Yeah. Well, then there's that. And he goes, no, I didn't say that. Roll the tape. And then he's like, well, he said, I can't suggest, I'm not a doctor. I can't suggest that to people. He's like, but you said it's a horse dewormer, and it's even like for diabetes, right? So like dogs can be diabetic. It's the same drug. It's just formulated different. Like it's
for a dog's digestive system.
Like, yeah, a lot of times they're just the same. There's just a different label, but the actual drug is the same. You might just have to give yourself a little more, or a little less, depending on which one you go back to. But the compounds are the same. You can go buy. I'm not a doctor. You can go buy. So like insulin for like if you were diabetic, it's $400 a vial. If you have like no insurance, maybe more, $600. Ridiculous.
Damn.
And you need like 2, so you're paying $1,200 a month just to live.
Holy shit! Yeah.
If your insurance doesn't cover it, or you can go buy medicine for your dog, same medicine, different label and different company, for $10. Diabetes medication, and people will do that because they can't afford the regular medication. It's just they might have to give themselves more because the ratio is different. But it was the same with ivermectin. And again, I'm a retard, and I can see this from a bird's eye view and be like, what the fuck are you saying? You telling people ivermectin has been one of the most proven drugs on the market, period. But they had to disprove it because then they couldn't release the vaccines for emergency use under the parameters that they did. It would have been legal. So if there was another solution, it makes it illegal and impossible for them to release all that. But since the media pushed that there are no other drugs that will help with COVID, it has to be the vaccine. And that's what they were arguing with them. So I saw that as genius. They signed this guy that's a liberal. Everyone, their whole community hated him.
Yeah.
And then finally they're like, oh,
we get it.
Goes back to what you said earlier. It's like in 6 months they'll be your biggest supporters again, or whatever. So it's just even your own people the people that you see that are commenting, because I've already seen this too, where people that are like, they're down for you. Like you see, oh, these are fans. They love us. They love what we're doing. And then they split. They flop because you talk about DEI or whatever.
Oh, we talked about, we had somebody message us the other day that, we shared a post, and it was like hinting. It was it's always sunny in Philadelphia meme. And they were like, he's going to do it. He's like, you going to do it? He's like, he's not going to do it. He's like, yeah, it's a cry for help. And and they labeled him Tim Kennedy, and it was like the Antihero Podcast. Like it was implying suicide.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking.
It's dark, right? It's
that's
super dark. And somebody messaged us like,
"You shared
that, guys." Yeah, we didn't make it. We shared it in the story, and somebody messaged us, and they were like, "You guys are disgusting." Like, I was on my last straw with this podcast, but this one broke the camel's back. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, as a veteran, and I'm like, okay. Well, first off, I can tell you're not a combat veteran because we use things called dark humor, and so this humor offending you means that we're not the same type of veteran. And he's like, how dare you attack my veteran status? And the guy just kept arguing. I'm like, hey, dude, listen, have a good life. I'm sorry you don't like the podcast. Gotta go. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you.
This is where you told him you loved him? You need to start doing that. I love you. But mean it, Tyler. You got to mean it.
So
that's funny, though. Like, by the way you're saying I'm a combat vet.
I said it with my chest.
Like, first of all, I know you're not a combat vet. You were on a boat. You're on a Mew the whole time. You were on a paid vacation.
We just lost all the Marines.
Sorry, boys. I'm reservist, so.
We are Counterculture 8. How's everybody doing tonight?